My family goes back 5 generations in design and construction, so this industry is in my DNA. It is very gratifying to even walk into a city and say I changed the face of this city. But when you work on monumental projects that really change how people think about our history, and you see how people are reacting to those projects, it really makes you feel good. I'm Deryl McKissack, and my family legacy goes back to 1790 in the design and construction industry. So we do mainly 2 things. One, we design projects for clients. So whether it's office building, a school building, our architects design facilities. And then after you have documents, which are designs, then you can actually go to construction and build a building. The other side of our business is project management, where we help clients from the beginning to the end of the whole life cycle of designing and building a building. So we assist them with finding the right architects to build their buildings, and we help them with their programming on what goes in their building. We help manage that design process. We help them with the solicitation of contractors to build their building, and we help them with closeout. I would estimate that we have worked on about $50 billion worth of work in our lifetime, or in our lifetime as a business. My family goes back 5 generations in design and construction, so this industry is in my DNA. My great-great-grandfather came here as a slave in 1790. And he brought the trade of making bricks. And he was a slave to a builder, and he learned the construction industry. So he passed the trade of construction down to my great-grandfather, who became a master carpenter, and passed the trade down to my grandfather. And my grandfather and his brother went to corresponding school at MIT to become architects, and started our family business in Tennessee in 1905. It's the oldest Black architectural firm in the country, and they were for some of the first licensed Black architects throughout the Southeast. And that business was passed to my father, and he had 3 girls. We all went to school for architecture and engineering. I was predestined to be in this industry. My father brought clients home all the time, and I would sit around the table and hear about those projects. And when you're seeing people that look like you are doing these projects, they're out into the construction sites, I didn't feel, that I couldn't do it, even though I was the only Black person or the only female that was out there, because I had seen this growing up. I went to school for engineering. I'm a licensed PE, came out and worked for some of the country's largest construction companies, engineering company. But in 1990, just decided, wanted to try something on my own. So to start the business, I had to have a license, which I had my license in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And then the next step was finding clients. I sat down and wrote a business plan. Key to my plan was to first write out 300 people that needed to know that I'd started my business, and then start going to see those people. We started in December 1990, probably got our first project somewhere in 91, and probably that year we had about maybe 500,000 in revenue, probably with 3 or 4 projects. And within the next year, it was over $1 million in revenue. I was doing my own proposals, writing them, thinking through them, producing them on a Xerox machine that only would copy one page at a time. It was an 80-hour week easily. I came from a 6-figure salary. And when I started the business, my first year, I paid myself $7,200. My second year, $18,000. I never got back to my 6-figure salary until about 10 years. But I paid everybody first. I was the last. If there was nothing left, I didn't get paid. This is Dunbar High School, which is the most sustainable school in the world. Barack Obama Library campus, one of our notable projects. We were selected to be the design builders for Martin Luther King. And that really put us on the map nationwide and worldwide, really, when it was finally completed. And so that just set us up for the Smithsonian when they came out with a task order for just the Smithsonian period. We didn't know what it was going to be. We were hoping it would be the African American Museum. And I'll never forget getting that call saying you won the task order. But we were the first project managers, and especially Black, to work on the National Mall since slavery. Okay. So I was super excited, but my first question was, well, are we going to do the African American Museum? And they said yes. So that began our 10 years of being on the African American Museum. Very few women in our industry. I remember in college, there were probably 3 women in my class, and my twin sister was one of them. We need 600,000 people in the next 10 years to really do all of the projects that are on the horizon. Yes, there is going to college for an engineering degree or an architectural degree, and in order to come out into professional services. You can really get into our industry at high school. Well, definitely the Martin Luther King Memorial and the Smithsonian African American Museum of History and Culture put us on the map. Now, for me to say I made it, I don't quite say that yet. I am extremely proud of where we are and the projects that we've done, the impact that we've had in people's lives, and hopefully we're enhancing them every day. I just want us to be the firm of choice nationally, without any labels, more than just the minority woman-owned firm, but the firm of excellence that's really changing things in our industry.